So you're stuck in the pits of despair that is Elo Hell, and you're asking yourself, how can I get out? This is Vargon Draxar, and here is my ultimate guide to helping you climb in Overwatch. This video is going to cover more general knowledge that you can use across all three roles in the game to help yourself improve. We will go over more in depth for each role in future videos, so make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss them. Let's not waste any more time and get right into it. First and foremost, the biggest mistake at low ranks is positioning. You hear it from every content creator, and it's because it's the single most important factor to being successful in Overwatch. But let's break down what good positioning is. Maps in Overwatch are made very specifically. They offer environment cover, corners, high ground, flank routes, and more. The objective, whether it be capture point, payload, or push bot, are the least important sections of the map during a fight. If you challenge yourself, and better yet if you can get your team to follow along, try to start your fights from a position of high ground. If you're unsure why high ground is so important, I'll explain. When you're fighting from a high up position, like our good friend Obi-Wan Kenobi,
it's over, Anakin! I have the high ground!
You have three main benefits. First, your sightlines. You have a much better view across the battlefield from a position of height, allowing you to take more shots on your opponent while also having a better understanding of where they go if they retreat. Second, your enemy's sightlines. If your opponents are trying to fight from a lower position, they have walls and environment that can block their view, making their shots much more difficult to hit. Third and finally, you have a quick and easy escape route from a position of height. All it takes to retreat if you find yourself at low health from high ground is to back up out of enemy line of sight or drop down to the back of the high ground position to make your escape. It's a lot quicker to get out of view from up high than it is from down low. Now, on the positioning front, it's not just all about high ground. There are other factors. During fights, we also want to play corners and cover. I mentioned earlier that Overwatch maps are designed very specifically. They have corners, angles, and cover that are meant to be used. Next time you get into a team fight, rather than standing out in the open, try playing by a corner and taking an angle. Now, you don't need to take super minuscule angles they do in games like Valorant or CSGO, but just playing near a corner that you can dip behind after taking some damage, giving your supports a chance to top you up, greatly improves your survivability. The longer you stay alive in a fight, the longer it will take the enemy to push, and thus improving your chances of victory. The last bit of advice regarding positioning I can give is to take space, and no, this isn't just for the tanks. How many times in your games are you just standing around on the objective waiting for the enemy to return? If that answer is anything greater than 0, there's a problem. After a one team fight, you need to advance as a team and take map control. Now, I'm not saying no one should be pushing the bot or capping the point, but you don't need all 5 members standing idly by. To make progress on an objective, you only need 1 member on it. The speed does increase with 2 and then slightly faster with 3, but 3 should be the most on an objective at any time, and even then, we don't often want 3 on an objective except in niche situations such as overtime push where we're trying to capitalize on distance or percentage. Play the map, not the point. For the most part, 1 hero on the objective who either has long range damage or healing, or good mobility so they can rejoin the team if needed, is all that's necessary. Now, after positioning, the next best advice I can give is to stop blaming your teammates for a loss. To add to that, stop blaming things out of your control in general for a loss. Will there sometimes be a tank diff? Yes. Will the enemy sometimes have an Ana who never misses a sleeper nade while yours couldn't hit the broadside of a barn? Of course. Will there be levers, cheaters, smurfs? Yes, of course. All of these things do happen. Unfortunately, they're all a part of competitive team-based PvP games. But what you can do is focus on you. Nobody's perfect, even pro players make mistakes in their games. But instead of blaming their team, they work hard to improve going forward. If this means they need to leave the voice chat or even mute the text chat due to toxicity, then do. And I promise if you stop blaming things out of your control and focus on what you could have done better during your game, you will start to climb. The next topic here is hero selection. Now, this might be a controversial opinion, but you don't need to play Counterwatch to win games. In fact, just playing to counter the enemy will likely result in more losses than wins. What everyone should do early on for their roles is find 2 to 3 heroes they enjoy playing. Focus all your time in competitive to playing those heroes you enjoy. I would much rather play with someone who has 1,000 hours on a hero and they stay that hero rather than them swap to counter the enemy tank with a hero they only have a couple hours of playtime on. Now, this doesn't mean to ignore the counter game in Overwatch. If you're a Winston main and you dominate first fight and then the enemy comes back next fight with Diva, Bastion, and Reaper, you can certainly make it work, but do know that you're making the game more difficult for yourself. But again, if you're really good at Winston and the enemies don't have a lot of playtime on Diva Bastion Reaper, you might actually be okay. This is all just a long-winded way to say play who you enjoy and who you're good with, and you'll win more games. There's an awful lot of one-tricks in Overwatch who climb very high regardless of current hero balance. It was Bruce Lee who once said, "I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times." Lastly, and honestly probably the most important tip of all, have fun. Overwatch is a game. Games are meant to be fun. Not everyone can be a top 500 player, and that's okay. I'm certainly not. Depending on my role, I'm high plat to diamond, but you only get so much time in this world, and if a game is upsetting or stressing you out, take a break. Whether it's for the night, the week, the month, if you're not having fun, you should just take a step back. The world is a better and brighter place when we're all having a good time. I know things can be frustrating when you're a competitive person and you're trying to climb, but try to enjoy the ride. We only get one chance at this game called life, so don't spend it having a bad time playing a game called Overwatch. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. It really goes a long way. And if this guide helped you out, leave a comment and hit that sub button, as more guides and gameplay are coming your way. And I will catch you all next time.